I'm gonna clap after you guys.
Oh, everybody should
Shut
clap,
up, Ben.
and then it's that's good.
Lucy, how about you literally log off?
Can we pretend my name's Trudy?
If Kate is Trudy, then I'm Val.
Shall we not choose a different names?
Kate, Cindy Lou, get out of here.
Who? Who? All right, let's start. It's 2:50 on a Friday.
I will admit that was painful to clap for.
Thank you to our musical intro. Welcome everyone to the boomercast, Gen Z's guide to the modern world. I'm joined today by
Alex Mungo.
Odie the dog, Garfield's enemy.
That's Kate's homo. My name is Ben Clement. I'm so excited to be here today.
I'm Lucy, and I hate Ben Clement. And I'm special guest Hannah Bellinger.
And the one who introduced us, who forgot to say his name, is Hayden Dowla.
That is me. Yes.
Here we are, first episode of our podcast.
Yes.
We're making this podcast not only to get a grade in theater class, but also to revolutionize the world of audio media.
Yeah. Basically what we're trying to do is educate the older generations who don't quite understand our comedy.
We're putting the spin on it to show the world we're here too.
Exactly. In audio and video.
Wait, they can see us?
Yeah, they can see
Yes.
us.
Unfortunately.
Well, I'd like to dive into the onion scale. Now, the onion scale isn't a mainstream thing that a lot of people know about because I feel like I am the one who invented the onion scale.
No, yeah, definitely.
Now, this came around last year with the phrase, with the meme. It started off with the meme. I will put it on screen. But it's a picture of a cast iron skillet, and it says, "Go ahead, get in, since your ass won't act. Onions."
Right.
But the word onions is kind of cut off, and there's a capital D in the middle of it. I don't know what the appeal of this is or what makes it so funny, but I just think it's interesting. So the onion scale is basically what we use to measure how misbehaved you're being.
Misbehave, yeah. Out of pocket, one might say.
Yes, how out of line or out of pocket one is in this given situation. So we have different types of onions. We have your scallion or green onion. We have your spring onion, your yellow or white onion, your red onion, your shallot, and your leek. If you said you're acting leek today, you're not being horrible, but you have a little funk to you. Leek is not as strong. It's more watery,
It has the brightness though that some of the other onions don't.
That's true.
You can't serve some onions raw because it's too pungent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the yellow or white onion.
Can't say that. You can't do that one. If you're yellow onion right now, can't be done.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do some research really quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the Wikipedia page for onion. So for those who don't know, the onion, Allium cepa L from the Latin cepa, onion, also known as the bulb onion or the common onion, is a vegetable most widely cultivated species of the genus Allium. Its close relatives include the garlic, shallot, leek, and chive. Chive is an herb that's kind of like an onion, but it's like if a scallion had a little brother.
It is the relative.
So what's the list? We have to decide the order, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I feel like leek is definitely at the bottom.
I think
She's
chive is at
mild.
the bottom.
Chive.
Because chive is just on top of food.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
So
So we'll
It's
do
just
chive,
the tiniest bit, right?
a little bit of the
Leek.
opposite effect.
and then do we want to do scallion / green onion or shallot then?
shallot has a
Shallot's
do
up there,
shallot.
I feel like, just because
Shallot's
the
up
word's
there.
so harsh.
Shallot. The word is harsh, but the food itself is very mild.
But if I say you're acting shallots
What
right
does
now,
that
that
do?
sounds like an insult.
If you're
I feel like
actually
scallion and
salad,
green
what does that
onion
do?
is less severe than shallot.
Oh,
I
for
really
sure.
like green onions, so
You're
Green
acting
onions are good.
scallions, though.
Okay, so then we
That's pretty
have.
powerful.
Oh, what about spring onion?
Spring onion. is a scallion, and also a green onion is a scallion. They're all the same vegetable.
All right, so let's all use the onion scale to describe something that happened this week.
Okay.
I accidentally touched a Shopkins and squeezed it a little bit, and some of my little sister's spit oozed out of it in like a frothy, bubbling manner. And I knew when she put her mouth on that Shopkins, she was acting real red onion.
Red onion.
That's deplorable. That's deplorable.
I would have to
red
agree.
onion through and through.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. Red onion is the perfect ranking for that event.
Do we want to reread the onion scale one more time?
We have chive, leek, scallion/green onion, shallot, red onion, and yellow onion. I will say I went on a walk in the woods yesterday, and halfway through the clouds started coming out and it started raining on me. And I still had halfway to go and I was drenched. So I would say the weather was acting scallion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
In a similar vein, I will say I was playing an online video game, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, with my friends in a competitive lobby.
Yes.
And suddenly my computer shut off because my entire house's electricity went out. And so I will say that situation had me personally acting shallots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why'd your
Definitely more
electricity go
severe.
out?
I guess
It was
the wind.
windy,
or something.
girl.
Oh yeah.
Like 50
I don't
mile
look
an hour
outside
wind.
anymore.
I
literally don't
heard
look
the
outside.
wind. I did not go outside.
Oh, I
The
know.
wind of what? You caught wind of what?
I caught wind of your bad attitude.
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
was it our next topic, decorative napkins?
Oh my god. I swear to God. All right, I'm starting this one off. So, have you ever been drinking like a nice Mott's apple juice, in a nice glass cup?
I think I can speak for everybody when I say we've all done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then sometimes you just make a little bit of an oopsie and you knock it over with your arm or with your leg or your hand, and then it spills all over the table.
Right.
And
Yes,
you're
poor
reaching
motor
around.
movement.
You're reaching around. And what's there? A napkin. Except here's the thing. It's not a regular plain napkin. It's got Charlie Brown Christmas on it.
It's a cool napkin. It's not a regular.
It's decorated. It's
It's a
decorated. It's
decorated.
purple and it's
Oh.
nice. And you think, it's right there. I can clean up my little mess with this. And you put it on top. Except, does it clean up the spill? Does it absorb
No.
any of the liquid
No.
that I have
It
dropped?
does nothing.
It's
does
cardboard.
nothing.
It's glorified
Nothing.
cardboard.
It's a
Glorified
piece of
cardboard.
paper. It's a
It's
piece of
tissue
paper,
paper.
and someone drew it. Someone drew Charlie Brown on a piece of
Tissue paper.
sheet paper.
I would like
Lined
to
paper.
analyze the napkins that middle-aged Caucasian mothers purchase that have the old-time, like 1940s depiction
Yes.
of women on them, and they're all
Oh,
about
that's my
wine
mom.
jokes.
Or my mother has a napkin that says, "I understand the concept of cooking and cleaning, just not how it applies to me." And we all got a hearty chuckle out of that.
Of course. Of course.
My mom had one growing up, or like a dish rag or something that said something like, "I have enough time for each person a day. Today is not your lucky day," or something like that. And as a kid, I did not
that is
understand it.
humorous.
I was like, I thought maybe when I got older, I would understand it.
You
but
think
I
it was
still
funnier,
stare at it,
but-
and I still don't find it funny. I
No.
love her. She's 53. She gets a kick out of it. I don't.
I throw
I'm sorry.
my hat into the ring. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee.
Get
Wow.
out. Or
I'll also counter that with live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love is very important.
There's
What is
something
it? Like, pray
The culture.
often, laugh loud,
Mm-hmm.
see God.
There's always
I
something
want
like that.
to explore what the appeal is behind those. Do they actually find them comforting in some way?
Absolutely.
Because I know they don't think they're a
Absolutely.
joke because they pay so much money for them.
No,
But
they
what
love
is so
them.
appealing about that?
Isn't
I
there
think it
always-
is. I think they think it's funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So this is a great learning opportunity because not only are we teaching the older generation what's funny to us, but we're learning from the older generation what's funny to them.
So tweet us at the Boomer Podcast. I don't know if we have that at yet. We might not get that at. I'll make it right now.
Bagelmeister in the Jacksonville Shopping Center
Bagelmeister.
knows of the home signs that
The
carry,
signs everywhere.
that carry meaningful messages. about home and family life.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Bagel Meister, for this.
So we had this thing in this store in Texas called the No, not Home Depot. That exists. Hobby Lobby.
Oh my
We have
god.
that here.
Hobby Lobby.
You have a Hobby Lobby's here?
Not like close to here, but I think like
Okay, I thought it was it was a southern thing.
No.
But that store is exclusively for the Live Laugh Love, the Eat Pray Love, the
Eat, Pray, Love
pumpkin,
is a movie.
the fall leaf decorations, the
Nora
hobbies, the
Roberts.
lobbies, and the homophobia, and it all goes into one store.
What was that scandal
Hobby
with Hobby
Lobby.
Lobby that happened like a year ago or something,
Yeah.
where they
They
were
were
like
homophobic.
literally coveting like old artifacts from a museum? And
Really?
they like they got sued.
What is that?
If
I
you
never
search
heard
up
of that.
Hobby
I'm
Lobby
doing my
scandal.
research. The Hobby Lobby smuggling scandal
Yes.
is a
What?
series of events starting in 2009 when representatives of
Oh.
Hobby Lobby received a large number of clay bulla and tablets. The artifacts were intended for the Museum of the Bible, funded by the evangelical Christian Green family, which owns the Oklahoma-based chain of craft stores. Internal staff
Oklahoma-based,
had
okay.
warned superiors that the items had dubious provenance and were potentially stolen. In 2017, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York directed Hobby Lobby to return the artifacts and pay a fine of $3 million.
what?
Okay, my question is who thinks they're so special they can use dubious providence in a press
Provenance.
release?
Provenance.
Who?
It's always people on Wikipedia too.
The
Which
U.S.
like anybody can edit it.
The U.S.
Speaking-
Immigration and Customs Enforcement returned 3,800 items seized from Hobby Lobby to Iraq in May 2018.
Hobby
Wow.
Lobby.
They got Iraq involved.
Yep.
Back and forth. That's
That would be
hilarious.
that would be like if Panera had like a smuggling scandal. You'd be like, it's Panera.
Oh, we just don't know about it.
You
I
guys
mean, I'd
know
rather
what I
know
do
than
like
not
about Hobby Lobby.
What
I
is that,
really,
Kate?
They have that green stuff that you can like squish with your fingers. That there are some plants that you stick into it.
Oh, the
like,
floral foam?
floral foam. I love floral foam.
I
I,
still
could
have
play
the-
with that all
the
day.
squishy
Speaking of
yes.
old, tiny places, raise your hand if you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel.
I have been to a
I've
Cracker
never.
Barrel. I've been.
Wow.
Lucy.
Lucy. It's an
so up
experience.
your alley.
Is there a Cracker Barrel anywhere near here?
No.
No.
Like
I didn't think
half
so.
hour to
It's a
45
road
minutes
trip,
away.
Middle of nowhere, highway only.
Yep.
Yes, North
You have to go on a
Carolina.
road trip to go to one.
It is
Actually,
breakfast.
Down and go.
That can be everywhere but in the South, where Cracker Barrel is a hotspot destination.
It is very.
Really?
It is
Like
very
they just have
Oh,
them
prominent.
yeah.
around?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember always going there and like stopping for lunch on road trips, and you would like see all the rocking chairs out in the front and like the chessboards they had, and you would walk in. It's like mom and pop knickknacks, like all
Oh
that.
no.
Bland food, dope
Yes.
gift shop, the little triangle game they gave the kids. You put
Yes,
the pegs in.
of course.
Yes.
I remember.
Does anybody know how to play that game?
I knew how,
no,
but I
nobody
forgot.
does.
I knew
Nobody
how.
does.
I remember going one time. It was in North Carolina, and we stopped for breakfast on the way home from the
Yeehaw.
road trip. And I
Yeehaw.
ordered, as a kid does, I got a bowl of Fruit Loops, and that
From
was it.
Cracker Barrel.
And
Wait,
from,
Cracker Barrel sells Fruit Loops?
Yes, that was my breakfast.
That's
and
their scandal.
From the gift
That's
shop,
revolutionary.
I got a Blue Jay Webkins and a Wacky Zingos Webkins.
I got a Wacky Zingos
Okay.
Webkins at Cracker Barrel too.
Yep.
Can we talk about
That is
about the scam that was Webkins?
It wasn't a
I've-
scam. What are you talking about?
It
Are
turned
you
into
kidding?
a scam. It turned
I
into
think it
no.
was
No, it
a
did
scam.
not.
was
You
a
had to
scam
buy
for
the
the
actual plush pets to like activate them online.
And then
I
if you
had,
don't
like,
buy
50 of them.
a new $15 plushie every month, your Webkins die.
Whoa, that is not
That's
true.
not
true.
Okay, where did that
Yeah,
go?
that is not true.
No, I swear to God, that's how it worked.
It's better than buying
That
like
is
a
not
membership,
true.
like you know, monthly
Yes,
or
now
yearly, or whatever
there's-
Club Penguin did.
Now
but
there's a membership
but you were able to play Club Penguin or like
for free.
For
Pop
free.
Tropica for free without a
But with what?
membership.
Now
Got
you
it.
can
you do?
play Webkins without buying Webkins, but there is a membership option.
But
Right.
nobody plays Webkins anymore.
Nobody plays Webkins.
I
Speak
think
for
it's really
yourself.
important that we have to dive into the thing that rumor that was going around. I don't know if it was just it was just a Maryland thing, just like a Baltimore County thing, or what it was. When we were kids, about Webkins, about the like vet in Webkins, like
How he would.
like would like attack. There was like a
Murder.
rumor going around.
There was a creepypasta. There was a old
remember
wives'
hearing
tale,
about
as
it.
one would say, about how if you went to the Dr. Quack, I believe, at midnight, it was either, I think it was at midnight on Halloween, he would take a chainsaw and cut the head off of your weapon.
There's no way that's
Was it real?
Everyone was terrified.
It's like,
I never heard of that. I never heard of that until like you guys told me about it.
I still have no
Right.
idea what you're talking about.
maybe it
Well-
was just like a Carroll Manor Elementary in Jacksonville Elementary thing.
So let's
Yeah.
let's unfold that for a
Let's
second.
dive in.
let's explore why is that so funny to us? Why is a creepypasta about
So
a
ridiculous.
So for the
It doesn't make
uninformed,
sense.
a creepypasta is it hasn't been one in a while. I think they kind of phased out.
they kind of
Yeah.
like were very popular around like 2010, 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
With
So it's
Jeff the
basically-
Killer, Slender Man.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It pretty much is just a like it starts out with just like a picture and like a really scary like picture someone posted on some random website. So
Right.
then
It's like-
someone takes the picture and then I'm sure Ben will add some right here for visual. And so then they find this picture and they create a whole story.
Yeah,
It's like a
horror.
gory fanfic.
Normally a horror
Completely
legend.
made up. Yeah, exactly. A scary story meant to convince people that it's real.
Not
and-
even people, kids.
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 Yes,
Specifically
right.
kids.
Children.
Intended to
Um,
scare readers.
And of course we all believed it.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
like during that
I
time,
mean,
like you
come on.
believed them
We
because
were
they were
growing
like
up. We were growing up in the age of the internet, pretty much. I mean, I
Sure.
know the internet was there before, but when the internet really, when everyone was starting to get access to it,
Mhm.
especially unrestricted access to it,
Mhm.
because I think our parents, especially like my dad's always been like an older. He's 61 now, so when a lot of the parents were like in their 40s when we were growing up, my dad was like in his 50s, so he didn't know. Like, and same with my mom, they didn't know what kind of stuff was really on there. Jump scare, kind of, and we
Ah.
screamed and hid under our computer table for 2 hours.
Hours?
Yeah, I think like
And,
about
like-
all those videos that were around then, they were
Yeah, like the
they were
scary
intended to
maze
scare
challenge.
us, and we were so young that like it
Yeah.
scarred us. But like we can look back at that now, and like I think like our
And
way of
laugh.
coping with that is making jokes about it because
Yeah.
that's how our generation copes with like.
I
That's
remember-
why we all have such weird, twisted senses of humor. It's because of what we were exposed to.
Well, I think it also comes from the fact that since we grew up with the internet, we already knew all the jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
So like all of comedy had already happened, and we had
Right.
unlimited access to everything that was ever funny.
Imagine.
So at this point, we had to come up with something. It's the new comedy.
Right.
Yeah, I think we've like worn out like everything. Like we're 2 steps ahead of everyone. I feel like so what everyone's like finding funny or like what the locals are finding funny right now is not funny to us and what we experienced a few years ago. So right now we're just like grabbing at straws and a picture with like the word beef on it. That's like Mr. Krabs is funny.
Yes.
You know?
Anything.
Okay, but that's hilarious.
It's funny.
Right.
Of course, it's hilarious.
So funny.
And I kind of see us like reverting back to that early like stage like elementary school, middle school
Like-
where it was like
Right.
so random type of
Like-
thing where it's just like
Yep.
random.
Anything.
Yeah.
Random.
Not like in the
Fun.
cringe way, but it's just like the content that's put together.
Also, irony. Irony plays a large role.
Oh,
Where
for
now,
That's true.
when looking back at like the early like memes from like 2012 era, if it's posted today, it's looked at in a new light, where it's seen as
Yeah.
of
That's
course
true.
it's not in a serious tone, and that's what makes it funny is because you're poking fun at what used to be funny.
Also,
Yeah.
I think the pivot from because I remember when I was like younger, like I don't know, maybe like five or 6 years ago, and it was like just offensive jokes were funny. Like
Right.
nothing was funny to
Yeah.
me unless it was like really like offending someone else.
Mhm.
And I think there's been a big pivot away from that, which is
Yeah.
interesting, into just like more of just like stupid, just like really dumb humor.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
nothing makes
Like,
sense.
just
really,
like
but it
nonsense
does.
videos.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of like what we experienced as a child, like the video games we played, like especially Minecraft now, like around 2014 and 2015, it was like kind of like ew, like you play that, like and it was
Right.
like cringy to like play that.
Mhm.
But now it's like okay, everyone played it, so let's
Yeah.
make jokes
Right.
at it.
Right.
And they still play it, like not even like be funny or like
Right.
to make
Last
jokes
summer,
about it.
Right.
They'll-
last summer, Minecraft had a huge resurface, and it
Mhm.
was everyone was playing it, and it was no longer looked at as like a game from the childhood. It was
I played Club Penguin and Pop Tropica last night.
I also think another aspect of it is that we're going back to like these things that used to be funny, like all this like random stuff,
right.
And that's like refreshing for us because it's like, oh, when we were happy.
Okay. Yeah.
True.
All right.
I think the difference between millennial humor and Gen Z humor is like I find millennial humor sometimes to be a little bit behind what Gen Zs are like up to, because I don't think they had that unrestricted like internet access right now.
Yeah.
B, I think that their humor is more like competitive, where ours is kind of just like
It also can just be really simple, like when people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Mondays," and then it's
like
like
the
a,
relatable aspect where you're
Yeah.
pandering to a
I
large
think
audience.
relatability is the key to millennial humor, whereas
for sure.
appealing to the
Nothing.
like
Yeah.
caveman, like literally
like primal
Neolithic.
yeah, Neolithic
primal
era.
aesthetic.
We're doing something
Now
cool.
it's
We're
like-
doing
it's
something
Oh, special guest.
Special
It's
guest from Kathleen
Everyone's
Sawmill.
special guest. And also, it seems like I think Gen Z people, like, if you are caught taking yourself really seriously, it's almost like Gen Z people are like, stop doing that. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. When people are posting things to be serious, like about themselves,
Right.
it's almost like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. The Gen Z age range is anyone born between 1995 and 2015. So
Okay.
Right.
We're in that weird-
2015.
we're stuck-
Wow, that's
Wow.
why was
Exactly.
2015 the cutoff? I
I
wonder.
don't know.
It's
Well, we're in
like
the-
Can I
20
say
years.
something?
Early stages.
I do think that there's a very big difference between people born after 2000 and people born before 2000 with the Gen Z
Oh,
because
sure.
of
There's
when
still a
the
divide,
internet. And I think about like just in the use of Instagram is the first thing that catches my eye. I feel like people who are 21 now, I think is my brother, they aren't as like funny on the internet as people I'd say who are like freshmen in college now and then like seniors in high school. I feel like that's the pioneering group that had that unrestricted
so
internet
true.
access and like now
But
have
at
this
the same
weird
time-
warped sense of everything.
That's coming from us, who
Right.
all think that they're funny because we have the same sense of twisted humor, right? But
Right. So as a
He
group,
doesn't
we
think we're funny. He doesn't think
Exactly.
we're funny.
well, exactly.
I
So-
think that
it's all
also comes
subjective.
from the switch over from like Facebook to Instagram. That
Oh, yeah.
generation.
or even like it, and it's also regional too, because Instagram is a huge part of this of like the Northeast, right, where we live. But in the South, Twitter is huge, and it's like everybody used Twitter for everything, and even like school related things were handled on Twitter. Like the principal tweeted out announcements every day instead of like I don't know, actual announcements.
That's interesting. Twitter is not. I mean, it's big, but it's not like not everyone uses it. I know like Hayden doesn't use it that much.
I have not used Twitter in about a year.
Yeah, but I mean, there are people. Yeah, it's either you either use it a lot or you don't use it.
I think the main thing is the pivot away from Facebook. I think Facebook is just
Yeah.
like nobody uses that.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. Well, yeah. In our age and our generation,
Right.
Facebook is seen as
Yeah. You know,
Something
An
that
adult
is-
medium.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more of the older
I think
people.
it's more,
like
I feel like 35 and older.
yeah.
I've definitely seen some people who are technically like at the end of millennial who post a lot of things on Facebook. Like they get engaged, they gotta post it on Facebook.
Right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I've also
Anything,
seen a
gotta
lot
post
of
it on
like
Facebook.
27, 28, 29-year-olds who don't use Facebook
yeah.
and like use
like,
Twitter and Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
some of
think
the
the-
older generations recognize like this big gap, and they like try to like incorporate themselves into the new mix, but they do it horribly. Like one of my favorite examples is using like an ellipses in text where they put the ... but it always comes off as like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Instead
wrong?
of, like-
What did I do?
It doesn't come off the right way when they
My
use it for some
managers where I
reason.
work- my managers are all like mid-20s. Like they're not that much older than us, but there's enough gap where they're millennials. Like they're mostly born around 1995, maybe before. So they'll text me, and they'll be texting me like something, and they'll end it with like a period. And I'll be like, what does this mean? Or they'll leave me on red. They'll leave. I'll see the text receipt. In our language, in the Gen Z language, if you use a period when you're texting somebody, like one sentence, if you leave them on red without saying anything, and certain things that you say are like, as a Gen Z person, you read them and you're like, oh my god. but to them it's just like whatever. I think that's really interesting.
There's a few things that you just never say over text that we've kind of cultivated this etiquette that I think is absent to other generations. I think
the letter K.
The letter K.
Yeah,
You don't
K.
say the letter K. You don't. The only punctuation
It's
you
too
can
blunt
use
and curt. It just comes off
is
as
a
rude.
comma. Unless you're writing a paragraph of like long text, only use a comma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because using those short sentences comes off as like I don't know how to
Aggressive,
explain it.
pointed.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
I think
You're
it's because
annoyed.
older people like perceive text as like miniature emails, right? So they're like,
yeah.
okay, this is a short little blurb instead of like this is our main form of communication. You know what I mean?
Right. That's actually a really good way of
Interesting.
explaining it.
Yeah.
Doo-doo fountain.
Keep that in so they know it's funny.
All right, and I think that wraps up our first inaugural episode of the boomercast, a Gen Z's guide to the modern world. And let's review what we covered. Ben?
So we covered the onion scale, which is something our generation finds funny. And then we covered decorative napkins, which is something that appeals to the older generation. And then we discussed how the older generations and our generations come into contact with each other and how there are a lot of gaps and bridges between them.
Very good.
All right. Once again, I'm Alex Mungo.
I'm Kate Samo.
I'm Ben Clement, and this is the worst day of my life.
I'm Lucy Fabulous. Hannah.
I'm Hannah Bellinger.
And this is Cedric.
And I'm Hayden Dalla. Thank you for watching. This has been the Boomers Podcast.